And good evening and welcome to your view with me, Onkopute JJ Tabane. As I said earlier, we'll be ending the day talking about the whole issue of the civil service or the public service in our continent. That's part of our Africa roundtable today. Yes, as the Minister of Finance said, our civil servants paid very well. Hey, he says they're millionaires. I don't think they're millionaires. If you are a millionaire, you should be having $1 million in your account. I mean, this is what they get paid at the end of the year when all is said and done. But nevertheless, we understood him to be saying that maybe the civil servants are overpaid. But my understanding is the ones who are doing the hard work, the police, the nurses, the teachers, those are the ones that in fact are underpaid. And the question should be, some of those who are earning millions, should they be earning millions or not? And I'm glad that he's saying that we need to relook at those salaries. But also, do we need 400 MPs? Why do we need 400 members of parliament? 400. What for? So we're spending more than 400 million to start with before we count the ones who are earning way more than $1 million. Totally unnecessary. Half of them are just, are just on the grave's door, basically, about to retire. Some of them are just sleeping in parliament. Some of them think it's just one big joke. Why do we need 400 MPs? And then why do we need provincial legislatures? Somebody must still tell me why we need provincial legislatures. I simply don't understand. We need to dissolve those things. That's what's costing money. That's what's costing a big hole in the fiscus. Because some of those legislatures have not legislated a single thing to save their lives. Marabai pizza legislature. Okay, hey, no, a provincial legislature. Oh, we sorry. And then the legislature laying him, Tololo. They spend millions on infrastructure, on MECs, so-called MECs, members of the Executive Council. It's another fancy term for members of provincial cabinet. Blue lights and security and so. You wonder, who wants to kill an MMC of environment in the city of Matlosane? But a following car. Who wants to kill these people? I don't understand. Why do we need provincial legislature? Can somebody please tell me? And the Minister of Finance is not dealing with those things, saying, oh, we're going to cut, ministers are going to fly business class, and no, sorry, they're no longer going to fly business class, they're now going to fly economy class. It's sad. When I suppose desperate times call for desperate measures, but it's sad. When we have run out of ideas, it's sad. It's very sad. And it's bad. There's an English saying, and please go and check it if I got it wrong. I think it says being pound foolish and something like that. So being pound foolish and penny wise. Yeah, I think maybe that is trying to be penny wise. And then we will be maybe pound wise. I don't know, but I find it for the Minister of Finance to stand there and tell us that he's going to cut business class. Is this the best? Is the best idea you can put on the table right now? When the economy is not growing, unemployment there is 29.1%, 55% of people living in poverty, you are going to cut business class. And you think, I've put a big proposal on the table. As big as the elephant I'm carrying. I guess he said he's carrying a big elephant. He may not be a tiger, but he's carrying a big elephant, he says so. He tweets. There are many things you should be worried about. He tweets about how big and small his thing is. This is the kind of leadership. Now, if we are going to change, you can see that tweet there, right, of Minister of Finance of South Africa. A big cabinet minister, faced with a big job. He's concerned about a big elephant there. Anyway, what we need is a big transformation. No matter how big or small your things may be, but you need a big transformation of ethical leadership in South Africa. Half of the problem of what we call fiscal leaking is because of theft of resources. And it's not a complicated thing. We don't need to make too many calculations with graphs and no. The Auditor General tells us every year, this year just told us that there is 61 billion rand that's just wasted on theft. We can call it wasteful expenditure, irregular expenditure. Call it whatever colorful words you want. It's just pure, straightforward theft. And what is painful, right, is that about 18 months ago, Cyril Ramaphosa, with all sorts of song and dance, came to Parliament to say, I'm going to now put on the table a stimulus package. I'm going to put 50 billion rand of it. And you let us say, it sounded like a very big announcement, right? But he's going to spend 50 billion rand on a stimulus package. On the same day, when talking about when the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. On the same day, the Auditor General has said that 50 billion rand was wasted by theft at municipalities. This year is 61 billion rand. Yeah, cancel. So on the one hand, on the same day, the president stands in Parliament with song and dance. I mean, President Ramaphosa is a billionaire. So understands this, the 50 billion, he knows that that's a lot of money. It's not 50 cents. It's not 50 cents. 50 billion are not going to spend on stimulus. The left hand is stealing the same 50 billion. Therefore, you've got zero stimulus, Mr. President. And when last did you hear President Ramaphosa talking about stimulus? Because Barata di nomenclature, man. They like naming things. Stimulus. That word did not even appear in the latest Treasury paper about the stimulate the economy. It didn't appear at all. What is needed here is transformative leadership, which unfortunately we don't have. The current political parties right now ruling and opposite have lost any sense of initiative and any sense of leadership and ideas. Bafeletwi South Africa, you are on your own. I don't know what we're gonna do. Until good men and women in all these parties realize that it is enough to tolerate the stench of theft, the stench of ethical collapse. That's in all of these parties. Until each of these parties produce those men and women who will walk away from the stench, you are on your own, South Africa. And not realize no, the debt is rising. The debt is rising. You think that there's some MEC somewhere on the Eastern Cape of maybe human settlements. I don't know what those ones do there. We know what the ones here do, which is nothing. That MEC there of human settlement in Eastern Cape is concerned about your stimulus or is concerned about a new car. Because when they are appointed now, as chief of staff, who's clueless, chief of staff. A head or tail of governance. Never run anything in his life. Never run a tuck shop. No, here is a multi-billion budget. You must run this city of Buffalo City and what have you. You think he's concerned about your stimulus? You've got to be joking. Go and check out that interview of Padilu Hudla. If you want your heart to sink in hopelessness, go and listen to him. Telling us, without exception, that the directors generals of our country have no idea of how to plan. Including the treasury. And I seen Nani. I seen Kepadilu Hota, statistician general. They ignored all the statistical advice that Padilu Hota gave over years. Over years. because they have no clue of how to plan to get us out of this mess. It's bad. It's bad. Even if you are an optimist, man, when you listen to some of what your so-called plans, your heart ought to sink and say, Nkosi sikele. Nkosi sikele. Transformative leadership, I don't have enough time to address it. But South Africa is averse to change. If you look at the private sector, they are the worst culprits. Because often, of course, we focus on the public sector. But the private sector, they are the worst culprits when it comes into resisting change. And the resistance to change, change that should represent innovation, that will represent development, that will represent progress. It's directly, related to the lack of growth of the economy. The economy that is growing at 0% is not an accident. I say accident. It's not an accident. It's a reflection. It's a reflection of poor leadership and a lack of transformation. Because if you don't transform, it means that you're operating with a mindset of 1980. Cut 2019. What do you expect to happen? A miracle? Miracle? No, a miracle is not going to happen. Until we change our mindset, then we cannot expect the economy to grow, because the things that are in that old mindset is what is making the economy to refuse to grow. That's why when you get into a corporate situation, and you listen to people talking about change, they talk about change like they're doing somebody a favor. Wait. No, let's appoint a black CEO of Standard Bank. Mara are mo fele kwa le modise. Kara ka tha senya mosuthu are kwa le kwa motho kwa he sithare sa he sa le khuwa sithare sa mosuthu ke le khuwa. They think they are doing you a favor. That's why when the black CEO resigns, they replace that person with a white person, going backwards. In a country of 90 million black, 90% black people, you appoint a white leader. That's why you should be surprised what happened in the DA. Because they thought, Basotho ba re re favor, ba fa ba imane, ba sentsa tsamaye ba no le kwa le buwe. It's bad. But it's a symptom of South Africa. We are in the grips of a resistance to change. Therefore, we should not be surprised when our leaders are playing marbles or playing with themselves, as we have seen, instead of working on growing this economy. Skiramakala. The mind has been chained in backwardness. On a day like this, hey, the debt is increasing. Hey, man, what can we do? Let's cancel business class. Clueless. Sorry, South Africa. It's a burden we have to bear. Let's take a break.